Hi, I'm Scott McGarvey. You're watching Stretty News TV.
It's Jonathan Trog here for Stretty News. I'm here with Scott McGarvey, ex-United player. Got a few questions here now, Scott, from fans that have tweeted in. Just wanted to pick your brains a little bit. First of all, I suppose that I might have stitched you up a bit here because the picture that I posted on Twitter when I said I was doing the interview with you was, I think, when your Buffon was at its probably best prime.
Yeah.
So the first question,
long time gone.
First question that came in from Philip Edge on Twitter @EdgyP. He said, "Did you ever share your hair product with Mark Hughes?"
No.
That was the first one. Then we have a certain Norman Whiteside messaged us, and he said, "Scotty lad, check that Barnet out," with a smiley face.
Yeah.
And then he asked, "Where does he get his bleach from?" Presumably, obviously, back in the day. Was that natural?
Funny enough, although it's relevant. There was a guy called John Pearce who used to work in the salon Pierre, whatever, in Manchester.
Right. Was this in the 80s?
Yeah.
Right.
And funny enough, I just bumped into him again about a year ago. And out of the blue, we got talking, and he's a great lad, John. He said, "I'll start cutting you." So he's now cutting my hair now.
Right.
But there's no perm and no curls and nothing. Just that. Well, you can see what it is.
Au naturel now.
Yeah, John Pearce. He's the one to blame.
Right. Jazz Singh Gill @Jazz the Journo has asked, I think we sort of touched upon this before, but the crowd at Old Trafford compared to now, I mean, you know, obviously there's the criticism levelled at the ground now that maybe with the increase in corporate seats, that maybe the atmosphere isn't what it once was. Can you shed any light on what it was like when you played?
Well, you know what? I actually believe it's easier to play in today's crowds than it was when we played. Only because I'm trying to explain myself properly, but today there's more patience to give the ball away. Or I remember playing, and if I didn't hold the ball in, the ball came up to Martin Buchan. I mean, you were getting a right roasting, no matter who you were.
Yeah.
And you're like, if you gave the ball away, it was like the players were right on your case. Not badly, but it was just to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
I think the fans groans, and I think the fans are a lot more patient now. I've got to be honest with you. Maybe it's because they've seen a lot better players, maybe, or winning trophies, and Fergie's brought all this, and they're quite sat back, laid back, because they think, well, we'll still beat them even though we're 1-0 down or whatever. I don't know, but certainly, I would think the fans when I played, maybe because they weren't getting the trophies at that time and they were frustrated with the club. I think they were harder to play under than they are today.
Right. Okay. And he's also asked here, was Big Ron close to making United great, in your opinion?
Well, it had a good team. I mean, when they were 10 points clear of the league, what year was that? 85 was it, when they were?
Yeah.
Then there were 10 games to go or something.
We finished third in the end.
Yeah, they finished. That was the one, I suppose, would have made it or cracked it.
Yeah.
Big Ron was a good football man. I mean, I don't see Ron off, but I speak to him sometimes, and he's a really nice guy. Ron was a great lad. And people get this thing about being flamboyant. Yeah, but I think being Man United manager carries that. You know, you can be flamboyant. And then days where Terry Venables or George Graham or whoever it would be, there was a lot of managers there that had a bit about them.
Yeah.
You know, and Big Ron was just one of them. Mr. Bojangles and all that. I think that was a name that he got, the Champagne Man. I'll be honest with you, I think I seen him drink once at Champagne. Was at his house. We invited all his players to a Christmas day. I do there, and even then it might be an orange juice because I never ever seen him drink. But it was the image he portrayed, the image he wanted to go out, and he was a larger than life character. He knew his football. Big thing with Big Ron, he was more keen on the first team than the second team, and he was more interested in the first team players. And I don't think too many players you'd see slag him off, because to the first team players he was a good manager to them. He looked out for the players for sure.
Okay. Alan Munns @Alan Munns1 has asked, well, what are you doing now? I suppose we've covered that, haven't we,
Yeah,
really, with
yeah.
the football agency.
I'm involved in the football agency, yeah, and I get involved in a little bit of property with some friends of mine that we try and find some land and sort of sell it on.
Right, okay, and he's asked as well, are you based in the UK? Are you Prestwich?
I live in Prestwich, yeah, I live in Prestwich, and but I'm sort of in Europe, sort of in and out with different countries, looking for different players.
Right, okay. Pete Boyle, at Pete Boyle 70, United's prominent sort of songsmith.
Yeah.
As mentioned here, he said apparently Scott told a mutual friend Steve that he didn't like me because I referred to him as a United legend back in '99. He said, but I meant no offence by it, Scott, old boy. And I actually had a photo with you as a kid in '82, and he's put a kiss at the end as well.
That's okay. Now, I remember that story because when you said Steve straight away, there's a friend of mine called Stephen Bentwood who goes to all my Uniteds. I mean, I'm not too sure he still goes, he's moved to London, but he certainly was away, travel and go, so he obviously knew him, and I think he was actually winding me up. He was getting him to put in the Man United fanzine about certain things, and I wasn't too happy with certain things because if someone's taking a mickey out of you, it's okay if you can respond to it, but how do you respond? No, get a chance to respond. But no, everything's okay. I wasn't that angry. I was more angry at Stephen Bentwood for getting you to wind me up.
Right, okay. So we're all friends.
We're all friends, yeah.
Michael Jones, at Jonesy OSC 43. This is a Pompey fan now. He's put all.
This will be good.
No, very positive. He's put all Pompey fans will love the Scott McGarvey perm.
Yeah.
He's left it there. So it's a positive message.
I had 2 years down at Portsmouth, and it was the wrong move. I was so desperate to get out of Man United because I wasn't involved, and I had a couple of bad injuries. I bust my nose, and I was out for a while on my ankle, and my life. And I went on loan to Wolves, who I wanted to go to, and the deal fell through for numerous reasons. And then I got a phone call. I was in Glasgow, and Alan Ball saying they'd done agree a deal with United, and I flew down the next day, and I jumped into it, and I wish I hadn't. Bolly sold me it, and I thought, fine. Plus the fact, money today, money then. Even then, the money was super, to go, and I thought, well, it was a wrong move for me. And when I went down there pre-season again, started great for me, and it just didn't work out for me. And then I went on loan to Carlisle with Harry Gregg. Then I came back and I thought I'd done really well, and I thought I'll stay here. And then it just didn't work out. As I said, Portsmouth for me, I feel really bad for them where they are, because Harry Redknapp is a good friend of mine, and I used to go and watch Portsmouth when he took up, when he was with them. And they're a great town. I mean, it's a real hard working town. I know it's had its problems over the past few years with certain things, but there are hardcore fans there. You won't find many fans. They're small. That stadium is 17,000 locked in there. I mean, they'll sing their hearts out 24/7. And when they get behind the team, that's one bunch of fans. They weren't great to me, but I never done much to make them great to me, to be honest with you. But certainly, it was a great time. I loved my time, as in the town. It just football-wise, I regret making that decision. But certainly, as fans, they were up there because they followed, and they were great.
Okay. Just reminded me of something there with the Pompey thing. You know the fan who's really, I think he's maybe the most famous fan in the UK. He's got all the Pompey tattoos. Yeah. You think he's changed his name to Pompey or something?
I never noticed him when I was.
I was going to say maybe was it just after you were there, maybe?
Oh, you're talking when I played there, what, 86, 85, 86, 87.
Yeah, he might.
So how long ago was that? 25 years. So how old is that guy now? I don't know how old. If he's only 45, it took me to 20.
Yeah.
I don't think he was stupid enough to have that hat and dress like that with you then.
Okay, right. Danush at DRDan03 has asked, how has United's style of football changed from when you were playing? And is it difficult or easier to play now? I think we sort of touched upon this.
Yeah, we have touched on it. I'll always say this. When I played, the players that I played with at Man United, every one of them would play in the Premiership today. I mean, when I played at Oldham, under Joe Royle, in the Championship as it is now, that squad of players, that team that they had there, would survive in the Premiership today. All day long, they would not be anywhere near relegation. There's better players. I believe that. What they are today is athletes. They can all run. Throw some of them a ball with a struggle, but they can all run. They're all physically fit. They're all mentally tuned. They're all pure athletes. And if you come out of training ground where I am most days, a lot of them, they could look like a light middleweight boxer. And they're okay footballers. Not the same class come back with players we were discussing. What they are is fitter. So I suppose the question would be, I think the players we talked about could play in this era all day long. I think it's easier to play in this era because, again, the tackles, the standard of football pitches you're playing on, the training facilities that these clubs have got now, plus the standard of training. Not that it was not good then, but what they know now, from their diet to what they can do. Plus, it's individual. If you're 5'9" and somebody's 6'4", you'd obviously have different training methods, certain things. Whereas when we played, everybody done the same thing. The science of the football is moved on so much, and that's going back to Alex Ferguson. That's why you got to say how well he's done, because he moved along with it all the time.
Okay, at Shades Harris. Shades, fellow Parkies drinker.
Oh, this would be good.
Yeah, here's Shades. Shades asks, we've discussed Moyes, but he asks, will we finish top 4 next season?
Well, he's one of the people I wanted to have a bet saying we wouldn't finish top 4. And he's the one that would verify I said that before a ball was even kicked. That was no slight, as you said at the beginning, on any manager. I just knew it would be hard. I didn't think they'd be floundering the way they are to get there, but I just thought that Tottenham, even though they signed, and that's another big problem, Man United, you go and sign 6-7 new players, it's hard to fit in straight away, and Tottenham, I've seen that this season, although I don't think they signed the best players. But that's Moyes will have a problem. Does he go and sign 7 players and expect them all to play in the team? I think it's very difficult.
So I'm saying, to answer the question, you don't think we'll finish top 4 next season?
But if he watches this programme, we spoke before the season started, and I told him we wouldn't, so you should get a better question than that, Shades.
But even next season, he's saying.
Or next season. Depends who he signs. Depends who he gets. It's going to be, if he carries this squad, no.
Right.
He has to get brand new players in. I'm not saying he needs 6. I don't think he needs 6, 7. I think he needs 6 or 7 total, with 3 in the team, and the 3
on the fringes.
Up on the fringes, and backing up the squad that are good enough to come in and play. But he needs the 3 players that he signs to come in, ground running.
So you can answer that question better in August, basically, when we know who we've signed.
Yeah, and hopefully I've signed them. I've got a player for them.
And finally, a Twitter account that's it's quite well known on Twitter, at United Before Fergie. They basically sort of pay homage to all players that the pre-Fergie era. So when I told them today that I was interviewing you, they wanted me to ask you, why does Scott think that fans remember the 80s with such fondness, despite the fact that, comparatively, especially to today, there was such a lack of trophies, but the fans still look back and remember it with such fondness?
Yeah, well, funny enough, I've got friends of mine, and I've got a family member, a guy called Ian Lewis, who when we mentioning him, who's a lawyer, and he travelled all over the place, late 70s, early 80s, and I think it depends. I don't know how old that guy is. How old is he?
I certainly think he must be 40 plus. He's certainly before the Fergie. He remembers watching before the Fergie. So I'm saying,
so as a young lad, before maybe the family or kids, and he was travelling, going to away games, and having a few drinks with his mates before the game, getting the Old Trafford and the buzz about the place, and plus the fact it might only cost you £5 to get in there. I don't know.
Yeah. So you reckon that all contributed?
Well, it depends how old you are, isn't it? And certainly if he's talking about the 80s, he's going to be in the 80s at maybe an age of 19, 20, 24, 23, where he's on it with the boys, he's having a good time, and it's a great day out, and Saturday night it's like beer night type of thing, And plus, I suppose maybe there's a lot of players there, they may look to with more fondness because they were players, whereas today there's that many foreigners in here, and they can associate with 3 or 4 guys coming from Manchester or Ireland or Scotland, and something about Britain, and the odd foreigner now and again. So maybe this level of player, they come and they go, they don't have I mean,
it's not the commitment to the club.
Oh,
maybe.
years ago, 1980s, every club had players that were there 7, 8, 9, 10 years, testimonials and all that.
Yeah.
You don't find that today.
And like you mentioned before as well, the fact that you might walk into a local pub and see a player, you know, it's almost unheard of now.
Oh, for sure.
But back in your sort of era, that was the norm.
It was the norm, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the norm, absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, but I can only think that's why that people go fondly. It's like saying something now, and 15, 20 years' time, they say, oh, I prefer 2013 and 14 and 10 because it was better, because it changed again. I don't know. But certainly, I think it was more realistic. Brian Robson would be playing, and Brian Robson would be on good money, but he wasn't on money like the bank people would be on, or business people would be on. I mean, you know what I mean? He was a hero, and a guy could be earning £300-400 a week, and someone would be on £500 a week. I mean, Man United, I remember Gordon McClure, we played Notts Forest away. That was 1983 something, and Gordon said, well, £700 a win bonus and we get beat. And we were sat in the bar for enough, it was called Bavardage at the time, and we were talking about it, and he was on, I think he said to me, he's on more than me, but he was on, I think, 500 or something pound, but he was on a signing on fee as well, so he might be getting £1,000 a week or something, I don't know. He wouldn't be any more than that. I mean, Joe Jordan was on something. Joe Jordan wanted £1,400 a week to stay. I mean, so the realism there in the world was fine, but now it's just gone out of control. And I think a lot of fans are disillusioned with the fact that they're on that much, and they see them as average players, are not great players, but they're getting the big money. You know, and that's what I said at the very beginning. As a fan, you got to just take it away from your face about what money they're on, because it's just they're just lucky and fortunate at this time that Sky have made this what they've done. I mean, I actually believe, I've got a good friend of mine, he always tells me, so I can't say it's my idea, but he said in 5 years' time, whatever, Google or Yahoo will buy it, because they've got billions to throw. I mean, BT has spent £1 billion to get a 3-year contract. I mean, where's it going to end? There's only one way that money's going, that's that way. And the worst about that is the top player's going to get more, but your average player in the Premiership is going to be on 60, 70, 80 grand a week, who wouldn't probably get a game in the Championship, which is the Championship in the 80s. Maybe struggling to get in a play, but the way it is.
I mean, just to add on to that, I mean, obviously it's all, you know, it's again, in some ways a futile question, but do you kind of look back and not begrudge the fact that you weren't around nowadays, but do you sometimes think, bloody hell, if I'd have been a professional 20 years later, I could have been earning 50 grand a week?
Do you want me to tell you the truth? Absolutely. Well, I signed 3 contracts at Man United. Well, 4, one with Dave Sykes and 3 with Ron Atkinson. So even if you just jumped up the norm, you know, money is important, we all know that. Playing for Manchester United was an honour, obviously. I mean, at the end of the day, doing this is great, because it is what it is, you know, but to play for Manchester United, nobody can take that away from you. To earn money out of the game, which I had done anyway, but not great, but was great. But as I said, these guys that are earning now, sure, I don't think you can be jealous of them. But there's always a little tinge of just a bit too soon. Because even, as I said, the average footballers have got money they could just finish on. You know?
Well, thanks a lot for answering fans' questions and what have you today, Scott. Really appreciate your time.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Okay.